So we're here again with no one else but the man behind the machine of Knet, and we're here in the middle of the desert in Kuwait. What's up, Young Milliz? So we're here again with no one else but the man behind the machine of Knet, a very successful company here in the Gulf, Mr. Abdulla Alajmi. And we're here in the middle of the desert in Kuwait. And one of the most important question I want to ask is Mr. Alajmi, how did all of this started? You know, from all the way from the beginning, how did you start it?
Well, first of all, thank you again on taking all the effort to be here at Al-Mutla' Ridge. We'll not say it's the middle of the desert. As we are out of the office, so there is no Mr. Alajmi, there is no Knet. We talk about Abdullah and the team here. So yeah, I don't know. When I was, I'm the oldest brother in the family. So when I don't know, from young, I was so interested in electronics and on reading. So I was making up my mind early in the initial of the high school that I wanted to go for engineering. And we talk about mid-80s. I went to Kuwait University in 85. I mean, there was the new department about computer engineering just being open. So I worked hard in the high school and managed to get in Kuwait University. But I was sure that I wanted to study engineering, something related to electronics. You know, that time people remember, you know, the start of, you know, all of these gadgets around that time is starting on the 80s. I like to know more about this, and I don't know, I thought that the future is around that sort of field of things, you know.
Right. So that's how you got started and went through high school. And during that time, well, who or what was your primary influence?
It was mainly the dream to be an engineer, and I always, you know, studying in that time in the high school. I mean, and then you know that you're going to College of Engineering. It's not that easy. I mean, English in the government schools. I'm graduate from a government school. English is not that high, and you go to the university. It's also difficult to see, you know, a new way of study and a new way of these things. But I think that I put it in mind, you know, if someone can do it, I should be able to do it.
Exactly.
Nothing is difficult. Anything can be managed if you have the will to do these things, and you need to work on that one.
But was there any like engineer in your family or
no.
So you just went off and you just worked really hard to be who you've become.
But I think this is also back to, you know, you need to have back when you are in your 17 or 18 years old. I mean, these big words like fission, all of these things, it doesn't, you might not use it as it is, but you should have a goal. You should have an objective, what I wanted to do. And, you know, stick with that. Evaluate, but end of the day, whatever you decide, you need to work hard to get that one. I mean, when we joined the college on 1985, a lot of the team said it's too difficult. I don't want to go. I wanted to change. I wanted to do all these things. But some of the team continued till they graduated, and some of them went to even higher education. That was also another story, because also when you start your university career or study, you should also put some vision and objective. What you wanted to do? You wanted to continue academic? That's that's something. You want to start
You're
working, you should think while you are in your first year and second year, what
true.
skills that I need to learn,
That's
what
very
things
true.
I wanna to be exposed to it.
Right. Right. So all of this has to be early on. You plan early on, and also when you're in college, you went to Kuwait University, and your first year you knew what you wanted to do, and you went to engineering and the computer engineering, and you graduated.
Yes.
And then what was the next step after that for you?
That was again, as I mentioned earlier, that when I was in the engineering college, I was set up some objective for me that I wanted to start working after graduating. I wanted to continue studying, so that impacted me that I started to do little works here and there while I'm studying in the university. Some part-time jobs, some voluntary jobs in the university, of these things. So immediately after graduating, I started to see what sort of job I was doing. So I continue do some training. That time I graduated 1991, and that time BC was the star. So people was interested in BCs of these things. So I started to some training with either Kuwait University or the applied education. Plus I joined one of the ministry as a project management in engineering. But that also the message here that you wanted to see, I mean, in the college you didn't see the real work environment. So you wanted to expose yourself to the real work environment. Nowadays it's much better because all these schools will have interims, and you can go on a summer training and you do all of these things. So that will expose you to what is the practice in the work, how is the relation done, what type of business you wanted to join. Is it public sector? Is it the private sector? Is it your own business? Is it to continue in the education? So you should be active
in the process.
In the process. And not, I mean, you need to study hard to pass all these things, but you don't need to mess up also the opportunity of learning more, building a network. Things now is much easier.
Yes.
But you need also to work hard on this.
Yes. And then you work in the government sector.
Yes.
And then at the time, as you said, PC was becoming popular and more popular. And then you saw that you wanted to be somehow after working in the government, you saw that you wanted to work in the private sector and in with finance. You saw that computer was mostly used in the finance at this maximum capacity. And then,
but again, that's 1991, 92. Now you need to evaluate more. I mean, what is other sectors, what other industry, what other technology is available. Things are moving much faster than what used to be in the past.
Yes. So then after that, and then you're in search of looking for new opportunities, and then that's when you got the work that you started at Knet. And then, I mean, it will be an understatement if I say a few years later, but it took a lot of time for you to work your way through, and setting, as you said earlier, by setting, the goals of where you're trying to be at, and that's what eventually landed you at, the becoming, in charge of the company that you joined at that time.
Other thing need to be also considered is people are not similar, so you cannot set up. I know a lot of people use it a role model, but it's all about people capability, people wellness, people. I mean, some people would like to work in a big organization. Some people like to work in a small organization, but you will not be able to set up your mind unless you are exposed to this type of environment, either by training, either by networking, or by trial. Because sometimes the trial is the only thing that you can use it to learn something. It's the costly way, but it's worth it sometimes. Now I try. My first trial was in a huge organization, hundreds and hundreds of employees. My second trial was in a small environment.
You did that, and you've been, we can say, I mean, you're humble about it, but you've been successful at that and at your job. And now, what would you say is one of whether it's a skills or a character that you've had ever since when you're young, and it has been with you until now, and it has been one of the determinants of how successful you've become since you've started this journey and up to now?
It's not a single thing. People usually said you are a hard worker. Yes, I mean it needs to be work to achieve something, but also it is that you need to build confidence in yourself. You need to continue learn and expose, and sometimes also try. And it's a continuous learning. I mean it's non-stop. It's non-stop. So you need to keep improve yourself.
Self-improvement.
Yes. Plus you sit and evaluate from time to time. Am I on the right track? Should I work more harder? Do more improvement and continue.
So on a last note, what would be advice of anybody who maybe want to go through the same route that you went through, or might want to set out, maybe want to be a CEO of a company one day? What advice, like a final advice, would you give them, whether the person is in college right now or even before college? What primary advice will you give them?
Be confident of yourself that if someone do something, you'll be able to do even better than him. But that doesn't come in an easy way.
Yes.
And saying that, it doesn't mean that the life is always work and study and reading. We are here in the as you said, middle of desert. He was in the camp earlier.
It takes a lot of confidence to be in the desert at this time right now.
You need also to keep your social life, to keep your network. It's all part of your success. I mean, you cannot be only for people in the college. Study is important, but also you need to be emotional intelligent, you need to be social, you need to know all of these things. Tomorrow people will not ask you, what did you learn in that class or these things. These are things that you will continue learning it, but you need how to deal with people, how to communicate with people,
That's
how
true.
to evaluate the situation you are in.
That's truly true, and all these skills are extremely important.
Yes.
And the bottom line is, you just have to keep learning.
Yes.
You got to be willing to learn. If you want to, if you know where you want to get at, you have to continuous learning, and that is how you get to where you want to be at.
Yes.
And Mr. Abdullah, it has been very important learning from you. In the desert, as you said, it's not the middle of the desert, but it is the desert. So I want to thank you for having us again, and now we'll have more talk on more important things somewhere better that is not in the middle.
Well, thank you for coming. Sorry for the weather, but it's a part of experience. Some days it's nice. I mean, yesterday it was nice and little rain and cloudy, and but today is little windy, little dusty. It can be worse. It can be worse, but it's also an experience to
It's
see.
great, yeah. It is very the experience is very good.
I mean, put in mind that the people who used to live in desert, this is their
Every
daily
day
life.
was like this.
This is, even worse than us. I mean, they will keep walking, doing whatever they need to do, regardless what is the weather.
That's true. That's very true. Mr. Abdullah, thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thanks.
Again. Abdullah, thank you so much for having us again.
Thank you.
Here in the desert, and one of the tradition of Kuwait is to be, to
You should
spend
start
time.
learning now. This is Mukhayyam.
And-
This is not desert, huh?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, but we set up, there's a part of the Kuwaiti culture,
Yes.
to be here in the desert. I mean, in the set up a tent and have spend time with the family and enjoy. And as we do this, I want to ask, what do you define as success?
a success. That's a big word. Please, can you sit? Let's sit
Sure.
and talk about it. And, I mean, a success is I mean, you need to have a success. It's not only for work related. I mean, you are a part of a committee. So a successful individuals will be a part from a family, a work environment, and also the committee. I mean, you need to be part of the people around you. I mean, when we discuss, we wanted to do this interview, I suggest to you and the team, let's also come on to visit the tent or the camp. It's a part of that you need to keep communicating with your relatives, friends. I have a group of friends that we still in communication since university. And we get together whenever it's been possible. That also, I mean, you can be a very successful in work, but not that successful in your society, which is that might affect you. I mean, you need to be a good communicator. You need to a part of the family. You need to support the family. You need to support the smaller family, the bigger family, and the whole communities that you are living in.
That's true, and that is what you define as success. And especially being part of a large organization, there are many levels: family, the job, the committee, and even the board of the work that you do. So also on this topic of success, a lot of young people will be not really understanding of what it's like to go from just having a plan, having a dream, to going after it and achieving it. In that aspect, how do you deal with failure?
See, failure is a fact of life. I mean, you will have failures in study, in work. Please.
Thank you.
I mean, you'll have failures on while you are studying. You'll have when you are in work, even in social life. I mean, you'll have some failures, but it's. I mean, what you need to learn from these failures is how to either minimize the opportunity for these failures. I don't want to use the big words of risk assist and all of these things. No, try to avoid failures, and if a failure happen, you need to stand in for that and see how to fix it and how to learn from it. So you don't do the same failure again.
That's true. So not repeating failure, and also especially in the organization that you work with, there's a lot of data that you have. You work with a lot of data, numbers, and all of it, and it's easy. It's not that difficult to make a slight mistake in especially when it comes to technology and computers and all of these things. So what approach do you have in that aspect of is it with the team, and how do you encourage, because also you have to take risk too if you want to innovate. So how do you on that same note, how do you keep the innovation, keep doing more, keep taking risk, but yet being able to learn from failure to be able to learn from failure and grow?
See, I mean, this is a part of the fact, taking risk. Because if you are not taking any risk, I mean, you are in the comfort zone. You don't change, you don't do anything. But this is what usually the two approach you do. I mean, you assist, you sit together as a team, because one eye is better than two eyes is better than one, four eyes is better than two. So you try to challenge the things that you wanted to do. Then try to, if possible, to do the testing and review everything before you execute.
So that's what risk management is.
Yes, thank you.
So that's what risk management is: minimizing the risk, but maximizing the ROI, the return on investment. And that is how you deal with failure, both on a personal level and on a cooperation level. So now, what?
See, in a personal level, one of the things that if something failure happened, you need also to admit that it was a failure.
Being honest
Be honest,
with yourself.
because sometimes it could be communication issues, could be something that you are not focusing on, like especially in relation. If you fail to communicate good, people might think that you are meant to do this, but sometimes, especially in the relation, it can be it's a miscommunication more than or not being attention to
Right.
to a matter.
And also now, in the sense of also the passion of doing what you love, right? As we spoke about earlier, that people should follow their passion and do the right thing and set out their goals. So in this aspect, what would you say that young people, especially now, should look out for?
I mean, young people now have more wider spectrum of learning. They have more information available for them. They can learn a lot from people's experience, people failures, people's success. I mean, with the social media all around us, with the easy communication, with the easy to travel and go abroad, and of these things, give them a big expose to learn. But they need to have the passion of learning.
Yes.
I wanted to know something because I wanted to do something.
Yes.
It's no more that I need to find a book, read about something. Now
It's computer.
it's
Yeah.
it's in your mobile. You can
Yes.
learn any skills, anything you wanted to know it. I mean, you can get this. You wanted to be a photographer, you watch
Yeah, you watch a
YouTube
video.
and you will know everything.
Exactly.
I remember when I bought my early camera, I was having only a manual. And that time I was not that much in English, so I need to translate,
Yeah,
read all
translate
these
everything.
things. But now you go and buy something, you just hundreds of thousands of review. How does it work? How these things. But you need to have a passion that I wanted to learn this. I wanted to have that skills. I wanted to be like that. Then you will find too many ways to learn how to do these things. So again, that they need to determine what I wanna to do, either in a life skills or work study relation things.
That's true.
Related
And also,
things.
how about when somebody set out and say, okay, I have a goal, I want to achieve this. And then now a lot of young people I talk to, they say, yes, I have a goal, I have a passion, but I don't know how to get to it. You
I
understand?
mean, having a goal, having the passion to do that, this will not be achieved. You need to work on that. In business, we call it business plan. But in life, it is work hard
Right.
to achieve what
Yeah.
you wanted to do.
Yes.
I wanted to study engineering. Yeah, I need to study hard in my school to get the grades that will allow me to achieve what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an expert in something. I need to work on that hard because it's not enough to set up a goal and have passion to be there, but
That's true.
something need to take you there,
Yes.
and it's only yourself that
That's
will
true.
be.
And this is something that is crucial, to young people, having a role model, like yourself, and seeing that they can actually do something, they can listen to you and actually learn something from you. And this is a very important aspect of what we've learned so far. And I want to thank you again so much for having us, myself, and our team here today. If there are people out there, whether it's young people or people in your industry, want to reach out to you about yourself and your business, where can they find you?
I'm available. I mean, our numbers are public. I have my small accounts on the personal account and the social media, and I believe that no one will contact that you should respond to any contact that try to reach to you. We've learned a lot from people around us.
Yes.
And I think it's also a job for us also to try to give part of the things that we learn it back to the society.
Yes.
Young people, I want to really thank you for the initiatives, because the moment you contact me on Omit ones, I said we need things like this. We need to let people, young people, to be pushed to learn from around them, and create a more successful generation.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
All the best.
And
Thanks.
we've learned so much from you.
Thank you.
And we hope, wish you best in everything that you do. What's up, Young Milliz? I hope you guys found value in the content you just watched. If you do, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. And also remember to share. And if you don't, I'm definitely going to jump. Peace.